Hi there, welcome. Welcome, my friend, to Homekeepers. So glad to have you with us. And every day I always say welcome to the brand new viewers, because we do get brand new viewers every day and want you to know that you are so welcome. My name is Arthelene Rippy, and the program is about the home, which, you know what that means? It's about people. We're not talking about houses, although we try to give you good hints about that once in a while, but it's the people that really make the home. And we want to help you in every possible way that we can. I have a good friend who's come back today. She's been on the program before, and that's Rebecca Totilo. And she is, to me, she's an expert on the Old Testament and the importance of the Hebraic roots for our New Testament experience. And I just love to sit and converse with her about this, and I know you do too, because you've written about her and responded. So very glad she's back. We're going to talk about this book today, about the oils of the Bible, and kind of the truth that everything in there has some significance. And then I'm going to join Wanda, and we're making something I'm kind of just kind of curious about. I have a feeling I'm going to like it. Have you ever had a tuna burger? I never have, but we're going to show you how to make those. Now, I want to tell you about this book now, and then later in the program, if you want to call to order it, Heal with Oil. And this is just a good insight and study on the various oils of the Bible, their significance and their purpose and their meaning. And we're going to offer this to you today for a gift of at least $20 to the program. If you use a credit card, call us on that 800 number at 1-800-229-0059. Or write to us, Post Office Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. And we have another guest in the studio, Wanda. Bob, would you come here? This is the president founder of the Christian Television Network, and he doesn't have a microphone on, but you can speak real. He's got such a loud voice anyway. Welcome to Homekeepers.
Well, thank you. Looks good here.
Tuna burger.
Yeah.
Well, one reason I wanted to bring you up, since you're here anyway, that's a pretty sweater. We have a viewer. We just call him Mr. Keith, and he's in Missouri, and he sends us things for the kitchen just so regularly. He's just the sweetest man. Now, he really outdid it this week. And a whole set of cookware. That's what I want you to see.
Wow.
And if we could get a picture of it, it is beautiful. Because did you know that most of our cookware was from the thrift shop?
And you can hardly boil water in any of it.
This
is
nice?
wonderful.
They're beautiful.
I mean, it's just, we can't thank you enough, sir.
It's really beautiful. Thank you so much.
Wanda didn't think that the stuff we had should go back to the thrift shop. It's so bad.
But we're thinking we'll put it up on the table and see if anybody here bites and wants it.
So I thought you'd want to see that.
Yes.
And
It's
thanks for
beautiful.
dropping by.
Okay.
We'll bring you a tuna burger pretty soon.
Hey, I'll be looking forward to that.
Okay. Thanks for dropping in. All right. This recipe kind of jumped out at both of us. The burger it's really an American thing, isn't it? You know, the hamburger, and then we've moved to turkey burgers and that kind of thing. But it's really an all-American kind of experience. Oh, he got us something else. Do we have that?
We do.
We're going to show that on another program.
On another program.
Because Mr. Keith gave us something that chops things up
So
perfectly. You could never do it that perfectly by yourself.
That I would like to have one for my own home, but I'm going to have to get on their website, see if we can get it. But
all right, what is that? Celery.
This is celery, chopped up just beautifully.
1 can of tuna, 6-ounce can.
Right, and this is a 1/3 cup of celery and a 1/3 cup of finely chopped onion, and it chops it just so uniformly, so nice.
Yeah.
I think this is a 1/4 cup of sweet red pepper.
So all of you good cooks out there, you're already thinking what a good blend of flavors and seasonings this is. And I'm going to put one together in a few minutes and taste it.
And some salt and pepper. And you know what? I'm going to go a little bit light on the salt.
That looks like quite a bit.
Yeah, it does, but it's probably not.
Oh, well.
But, you know, I'm going to go light because if you want to cut
you can always add it.
You can always add it later, but...
Yeah, they're having kind of a flap in New York City because the mayor's wanting to cut everybody's salt. Like that's any of his business. Once they cut the
funny.
salt in the recipes, and then they put the salt shaker on the table. Good thinking. So.
Well, my mother would just season the food, and we didn't have salt and pepper shakers at the table. She wouldn't let us.
She probably seasoned it just perfectly anyway.
Well, Mom did pretty good actually, but
Yeah.
she was always a pretty good cook. But she always just told us not to really, because food already has a natural flavoring in it anyway. So she'd always tell us.
Well, you're an excellent cook, and you've got a son who is a chef. Did this come from your mom?
Well, I think I got a really good start from my mother. I mean, I really did learn and watch what my mom did. But after I was married and saw what all these Amish women do,
Oh, yeah.
and the Quaker and the country women, I'm like, oh, I need to do better.
I wonder if people think that Amish food is like healthy. No, it's not.
No, I wouldn't want
It's
it.
just good
Yeah.
country.
Now this, just so people understand, this mixture will be, how do I want to say, it'll be soft, but it is still pliable. You can form it into a
A little
patty.
bit sticky. I guess no more so than anything else. I'm putting some lettuce and tomatoes on a roll here.
And do you want me to serve you up?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, you know something else I wanted to mention? A few days ago, we did a stroganoff recipe, and I remarked how awful it looked. I mean, it was just so pale. We talked about food coloring.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just one of the best things we've ever made, the taste. So what can you make it do? I guess put some carrots beside it.
Oh,
That
you
would
mean
help.
for?
Color.
Oh, for
It
well,
looked just like.
you know, you can sprinkle chives on top of it. You could take
That would
chives, and
help.
that would really
That
add a
would
nice
help.
flavor to it.
I always cut my burger in half, by the way.
You go right ahead. I can't wait.
I know, but it requires really opening your mouth. Back
won't-
off,
we
wide
won't-
shot,
We won't
Preston.
look. Let's look.
It is
Oh,
good.
you know what? I forgot to add the
Oh,
Worcestershire sauce.
But the one we did had it in there.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh man, that's
About a
flavorful.
tablespoon or so.
Flavorful.
There we go. Now I feel better.
I really
Now,
believe you'll like it
this will
because
be the best burger ever.
Americans love burgers. They really do. It's just such a.
You know, and here's the other thing. If you wanted to, you maybe just maybe saute this in a pan. You think you want it to cook a little bit more. You could just get the brownness on the outside, put it in the oven, and just let it finish baking in there until it gets to whatever consistency y'all like.
Yeah,
But
this is
it's all cooked
really
anyway.
nice and done. I think it says about 4 minutes on each side.
Yeah.
But
that's
this is
it.
excellent because you and I both know, and so does Wanda. If you're going to have a tuna burger, you're going to have to really season it up. That would be
Yes.
really pretty blah. Tuna needs something besides tuna. So this is it. And if you are interested and you would like to have this recipe, we're going to show you how to get that. You didn't taste it yet, did you? I just wanted to see if you could give an endorsement, but we'll let you know later what she says.
I have to have onions that are not crunchy. Sorry. I don't like crunchy stuff.
Tell us
and
more.
And tell us more. Well, you know.
Tell us more. Okay.
Have a
If
couch
you
in
want
here.
this recipe, it's got a lot of good flavors in it. We'll get it out to you. And now I want you to meet Rebecca.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, please send your request along with a gift of $5 or more to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758.
I'm so pleased to have Rebecca Totilo. Did I pronounce that right? I
Totilo.
stumble over that. Glad to have you back with us. And
Thank
I want to review for maybe some of our viewers have not met you, your story a little bit. At what point in your life did you come to the Lord?
Well, I actually got saved when I was 12 years old, and that's when I actually knew nothing. I hadn't been raised in a church or, attended, so I really didn't have any background, or just that my
That was a
sister,
very late start for
Yeah.
some of us.
It was a turning point in
Yeah.
my life, though. When my sister came home and told me about the Lord and was so excited about it, says, I'm ready, But of course, as I got into the high school years, and my father had passed away, and I got raped. It was just a lot of things that happened that, without that foundation and understanding of who God was, I backslid and was into drugs and sex and, you know, rock and roll and all that lifestyle. So it was a number of years before I came back to the Lord, and actually he sought me out, you know. It was through actually a dream that I encountered God again, and I saw Jesus in a boat off the shore, and he said, "Come follow me." And so I knew that was actually a very critical time.
Was it a dream where you were asleep and then you remembered it?
Yes, I woke up to, after having
So
the dream,
it wasn't
I woke
just
up.
an imagination out here somewhere?
No,
you know,
I actually had woken up, and I picked up my Bible and opened it up, and it said, "If any man will come after me, you know, he pick up his cross and follow me." And so that was a really very struggling time in my life. I was, you know, just in the world and, you know, entertaining demons. You know, I liked the occult, and, you know, just a very dark side. And so God knew, I think he was just sort of grabbing me and pulling me out of that lifestyle. And I went into
How'd you get into the dark side? Was it like the Ouija boards and all that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I really, I think just because I had that
Curiosity
of the prophetic and prophecy and things that, you know, when you don't have that guidance, you look and
So the Lord looked
find-
down and said, "We can use this. We'll just move it
Well,
over
see,
here."
God I think he had planted that in my heart, of the desire for prophecy and end times and things like that. But, you know, Satan took that and twisted it. And so my desires were being fulfilled with, the Ouija board and witchcraft. And
Yeah. So about
occult.
what age was it when Jesus said, "Come"? Do you think we ever put enough emphasis on the word "come"?
Yeah.
Jesus doesn't say, you know, do this, this. He just says,
Yeah, and most
to
people, I
come.
think, we think it's us chasing after him when he's really pursuing us.
"Come on."
Yeah.
Okay. How old were you then?
That was about
This-
18, 19. I was in college, but I had such a mess on my hands. I was in, you know, like I said, the occult and drugs, and, you know, just had made such a mess of my life, and was even in $10,000 in debt, and here I was in this mess. But I had the opportunity to attend Youth with a Mission, and my sister thought that was a good idea to get me out of that lifestyle, get me away from the people that, you know, had such an influence. And so it was going to take a miracle to get there. I had to get out of debt, first of all, and had to get the money to go. And so I ended up selling everything I had yard sales, and, you know, people helped out,
Wow.
donations. And so I was on the airplane heading to Hawaii to attend Youth with a Mission Discipleship Training School. And so that's how I sort of got on that journey.
Just a little human interest thing here. I went to school with Lauren Cunningham,
Oh,
who is the founder of
Right.
Youth with a Mission. Great man, great work.
amazing.
The reason I asked that is because, as someone who's kind of really been in ministry all her life, boy, you're a quick study. I've never had a guest, Rebecca, who could sit and recall, especially since you did a lot of drugs, recall scriptures immediately. And there's not that many people who kind of just crawl around in that Old Testament, you know, and discover what this means to the New Testament. And what do you think it was that helped you learn so precisely?
Well, I had such a passion to know him intimately. And I think in order to know him, you really gotta, you know, you gotta study, you gotta look into things. And I think he's just given me that understanding and wisdom that it has been poured out by the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like he just sort of deposited into my spirit, so that things are quickened. When I do read and study, it comes to life for me. You really have to have a desire to know him, and it can't just be spoon-fed to you by the pastor. You need to study on your own and have quiet time with the Lord.
Yeah, isn't it amazing, the people who say, "Well, the pastor just doesn't feed me anymore," you know, hey,
Yeah.
get your own spoon and
Right, right. Well, it's time to mature. You gotta move
feed
on.
yourself.
Yeah.
When you were here before, we talked a lot about the bride of Christ, and especially, you know, from the Old Testament. And today we're going to talk about a study she does on healing with oil, and these are about the essential oils from the Scripture, from the ancient Scriptures. And as I said at the top of the program, I don't think anything's in here by mistake at all. And so thank you for kind of digging around. you teach the Hebraic roots.
Right.
I mean, you go about as far as you can, perhaps, with a
Well, you can't know the end
finite mind.
without knowing
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah.
You have to know that's how it's all told. And if you want to understand how it's all going to play out in the end, you go back to the beginning, because it was all there as a prophetic charade. They were all acting it out for us. And it's just a pattern that just keeps to be repeated over and over and over with the seasons and times of his plan.
So
for
have you
mankind.
found there's nothing in there that doesn't have significance? There might be things with more significance than something else, but it seems like the smallest little thing you come
Yes.
across, you
Yes,
dig
absolutely.
out the...
Right. Yeah.
Let me
absolutely.
remind you again that we're going to talk about this book, Heal with Oil, and it's all about the oils in the Bible, mostly in the Old Testament, are they?
Well, both old and new, because we do see, like, for instance, myrrh is a fragrance that's mentioned in the Old Testament in Genesis. When Joseph was, remember, sold into slavery, they were Midianites or Ishmaelites who were coming by carrying balm and myrrh to Egypt. And this was a very costly fragrance. Myrrh is mara in
You
Hebrew.
eat it too, don't you?
Yeah, you can. It's good for gum disease, gingivitis. It's being used for treatment in cancer. And so myrrh is very valuable. And then we see it again with Yeshua, Jesus, when the wise men brought myrrh and frankincense and gold to Mary and Joseph.
Okay, so it was in the Old Testament, it was a
Yes.
gift to Jesus, but why is that important?
Well, at the cross, we see that Yeshua was offered the sponge of sour wine, or it was mixed with myrrh. Myrrh was a pain reliever in Roman times. It was good for easing the pain he was suffering, and he refused to drink it at that time. Myrrh is bitterness. It was part of Esther's preparing as a bride. For 6 months, she went through oil of myrrh. Myrrh is a picture of dying to your flesh. See, there's layers to the scriptures. We have the physical, literal interpretation, and we have, there's just, the Hebrew goes deep in richness. And so we want to get to the hidden sod of the word and know the secrets of God. And when you look at the physical attributes of myrrh, being that it's treatment for gum disease, skin conditions, cancer, things like that, and you consider myrrh being bitterness, that God's saying, die to your flesh. This is the first step in becoming the bride of Christ. You must die to your flesh. And so that was why Esther was that picture of soaking in it,
Oh, my word.
being treated with it, because it was good for parasites and a number of things. And
See, I
so-
always talked about Esther having a 6-month makeup job.
Yeah, she did. It was a makeover.
I mean, when I found that out, I really didn't feel guilty anymore about 15 minutes.
So it's fine. That's great, because it is a picture of that. But spiritually, it's a picture of dying to your flesh. Now, Yeshua was the picture of suffering. He came and suffered for us. So we have to understand, in order to share in his fellowship, we suffer too. We go through some things we don't want to go through. But it is part of the flesh that we need to lay down what we think we deserve, or, have a right to.
That's so true, so powerful. And we've got ministries in the United States that will no more recognize that we must suffer. Doesn't he say that if
Yeah.
you suffer with me, you're going to reign
There's
with me?
balance. You have to have balance.
Sure.
Sure, you're going to prosper. Have
But there are
good
those
success,
who will never
but, yeah.
recognize that.
Right. Well, they're missing out.
Yeah.
Because the close ones
That's the fellowship.
who knew Jesus were the ones who suffered with him. I mean, Peter, James, and John were his buddies and dear ones who wanted to die, as well as, they didn't even feel worthy to be hung on the cross upright. They, hung upside down. I mean, they wanted to do what their Savior had done. And that's why we have to come to this place of realizing, if he did it, so shall I. I mean, we want to share in his reward and inheritance. So there has to be that give and take of understanding that we don't just get all the good stuff and let him take all the bad stuff,
What's the connection between the oil, the anointing of kings and so forth in the Old Testament, and then in the New Testament, the oil is a metaphor for the Holy Spirit, is it not?
Well, it has been interpreted that way, but I'm not sure if that would be correct. The oil
I've heard other
is,
people say not
yeah,
sure about that.
Shema, Shemin is the oil in the Hebrew. It's Shema, hear, O Israel. It's like, listen to me, I'm speaking, you know. But to be anointed, yes, it was the duty of, you know, like Moses anointed Aaron for the priesthood. It was a setting apart. They were called for a purpose. They anointed the instruments in the temple for service, and so it was a setting apart. So we do relate that as the Spirit setting us apart for God, you know, that we've been set apart for His purpose.
Okay, what about the wise and foolish virgins, you know, their oil went out. That's one place they say that, you know, that means the Holy Spirit. That's not right.
No,
right?
that is definitely not right. No.
I was told that before, but I
no.
always grew up believing that.
Now, they were all clothed in white. That meant they were saved, in a sense. They were virgins, so they had been made born again, if you will. If you take it from the physical to the spiritual understanding, they were bridesmaids to the bride, if you will. If you look at the physical, literal meaning of why were they there? They were there to be bridesmaids. They were to light the path for the bride when the groom came for her. But in the spiritual sense, they all went to the bridal chamber. The foolish were late, but they did make it up there. You know, they had been in that deep sleep, but they were all awoken when they heard the shofar announcing that the groom had come. Now, they were foolish in letting their lamps go out. They didn't have the extra flask of oil. They did have oil in their lamps originally, but they let that extra slip past them, and they went to borrow it from the wise. The foolish in Greek is moros, means dull, sluggish, or stupid. They were stupid. They were slow. They didn't get it. They didn't realize, hey, maybe he's not going to show up when they think he is. Maybe we're not right on this. Maybe we misinterpret some things and don't understand Scripture like we think we do, you know, and that they've allowed these things to come upon them and are not prepared.
Allowed perhaps the things of the world to keep them from being prepared and going to the store to get their oil or whatever.
Right. Well, when you look at the Israelites in that time, they kept the Sabbath. They would shut down stores.
We're in the New Testament right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're telling a parable.
Right.
So I believe that Yeshua's relating back to, okay, at Sabbath time, everything shuts down. All the stores are closed. You can't go and buy oil if you run out.
Right.
Now, I believe that it's a picture of the Sabbath, the millennial reign of Jesus at the end of time when there's going to be no buying or selling, he says, right? So we know that the foolish had not gotten that extra flask, okay? Now, when you look at in the very beginning of when Jesus and Moses and the Israelites were out in the wilderness, and remember they couldn't go out to make fires on the Sabbath, and they got the extra manna. So I believe that extra oil is like extra manna for us. We're supposed to have double portion in the last days, like the Benjamin promise of double portion.
Oh, that's good. That is good, yeah.
So now the foolish don't have that extra portion. They have allowed their lamps to run out, and they, you know, are just relying on pastors, relying on other people to feed them instead of taking care of what they needed to do for themselves. Now they're banging on the door saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. Yeah. And he says, I don't know who you are. It's not no in the sense I don't recognize you. It was I don't know you intimately. You see, you didn't spend time getting to know me. You didn't have a relationship with me. Because we can try to think we know God through other people instead of spending time with Him ourselves and being filled. You got to be filled every day. You know, I mean, we're like a vessel with a hole in the bottom. I mean, it runs out. You know what I'm saying? You got to constantly be filled with the Spirit.
Yeah, and you need a lot of time, I believe, to do that.
Yeah, it's not quick. It's not drive-through relationship.
I wish this program were an hour today. We do have websites up for Rebecca. And let me remind you again of this book, which we haven't gotten into that much so far, Heal with Oil. And it's a good study of the oils, aromas, and so forth that come from these oils in the Scripture, and the application that they make. Now, if I were going to write a book, I don't think I'd ever write one on oil. And you found enough, you know, just digging. So what was it? Because you've written, she's written a lot of books, by the way. What was it made you settle on this subject?
Well, actually, I was writing about the fragrances of the bride and the spiritual significance of each, because they're characters of our Messiah, and these are the characteristics the bride must have to be the bride of Christ. He's looking for us to suffer, to lay down our rights, to be, so that he can resurrect us. I mean, you know, to die means that he's going to raise us up. We're going to live with him and reign with him. So we have to put ourselves aside. Now, that's where this journey began. And then as I developed skin cancer, I had noticed a place on my face that wasn't healing. And I had cut it out of my arm, so I thought, oh, that's ugly. I don't want to have an ugly scar on my face. And the Lord told me to use myrrh. And so when I put myrrh on, it healed up. And I went, oh, there's something more to this than just
So you
spiritual.
started to dig.
I started to look and say, wow, there's the healing
Where do you get
properties.
myrrh?
Well, myrrh is actually a gum resin from the Middle East trees that grows, and this is a gum that trickles out into hard little droplets called tears.
Well, can you put it in any kind of liquid form?
Well, this you can, but we actually have the actual extract of the plant. This is the lifeblood of the plant that runs through the veins and leaves and stems and brings healing. And the myrrh is now, we have the pure essence of it in the form of oil. And I believe that many people have found that this is a real, you know, it's not like the perfume, fragrant oils that you find at the Christian bookstore.
Oh, open up your nose. It smells like eucalyptus. You know, we've only got about 20 seconds.
Okay.
I promise you, I'll have her back and we'll talk more about this. That's interesting. That'll open up your sinuses, let me tell you. I'm sorry we ran out of time, but please join me next time, remembering there is no higher calling than a homekeeper, and I'll have Rebecca back so we can finish this. Promise.
If you would like a video copy of today's Homekeepers program for just $19.95, call 1-800-229-0059 for credit card orders, or send a gift of at least $19.95 to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. Be sure to note the program number which appears on your screen.